Hey adrenaline junkies, welcome back. Today, we're counting down the top 10 most intense police chases ever caught on Dashcam and Bodycam. High speeds, split-second decisions, and shocking endings you won't believe are real. Buckle up, this is pure chaos in motion. At around 12:20 a.m. on September 19th, 2024, officers with the Independence Police Department initiated a pursuit of a white Kia Rio. After briefly losing sight of the vehicle, the chase was called off, and additional units began searching the area. A short time later, officers McCoy and Stoff located the car, and the driver took off once again. Unaware this would turn out to be the worst decision of the night.
Zebra 8 Zebra, Lincoln Frank 7, Lincoln Zebra 8 Zebra. We're back northbound on Canterbury, coming up to 39th.
Down over here, all right. Black male occupant.
It's going to be a black male driver, and we're going to go westbound on 39th, and he's cutting through CVS.
Yeah, because I'm not on file, that's the vehicle that 22 just tried to chase.
We copy. Cutting through CVS here, northbound on Nolan from 39th. Go, go, go.
25 Nolan from 39th.
You can go ahead and show us in pursuit now. Our speeds are 45 and climbing. No traffic. It's in the number 1 lane.
223 in pursuit, northbound Nolan from 39th. It's going to be a strip painted white Kia, black male driver.
You're good. Do your thing. Speeds of 50. Straddle on number 2 and number 1. There's absolutely no traffic on the roadway. Speeds climbed a little bit to 70. Still in the number 1 lane through 34th. Alright, he just lost a whole chunk of the vehicle at 34th Street. He's an oncoming, however, there's no traffic. Just having a hard time controlling it. Back through 35th Street. Oh, he's turning. 1050, 1050, start fire.
The pursuit lasted just over 7 minutes before the suspect's vehicle slammed into the median, caught fire, and rolled onto its side. Officers quickly moved in and took the suspect into custody.
1050, Stadium and Leaf.
Let me see your hands! You're gonna get
Okay, my hands is up. My hands is up, sir.
Are you
No, sir. Yes, sir. They made me do it, sir.
I can take you to a...
Sir, no, sir. My hands is down, sir. My hands is down, sir.
hands behind your back?
Sir, they made me do it, sir. Please.
I don't give a shit.
Please help me, sir.
Put your hands behind your back!
Sir, my hands are behind my back, sir. My hands are behind my back, sir. I can't breathe, sir. Sir, I can't breathe. Sir.
Shut up!
I can't breathe, sir. Help!
I'm gonna break your...
I can't breathe, sir. Please, sir.
On July 31st, 2021, at approximately 8:27 p.m., Trooper Chambers observed a black Chrysler 300 performing donuts at the intersection of Jonesboro Road and Lakewood Avenue. Upon activating his blue lights to initiate a traffic stop, the driver accelerated and fled, traveling at high speed south on Jonesboro Road. Trooper Chambers notified the GSP radio room, and Trooper First Class Kraling began handling radio traffic for the pursuit.
Stop traffic. We're across Harbor Road. Stopping some traffic. He's walking down the road. Good, no traffic. And green line right here, off Middle Constitution. Still on Jonesboro Road. Come towards the wall, you ever go there. Right on Cleveland, right on Cleveland. They were crossing over the connector. Aviation fish on slowly. We got traffic here at the light. He went through the parking lot and he's showing north on Metropolitan. We got to cut through the parking lot north on Metropolitan.
The driver continued to drive recklessly on city streets. At the intersection of Cleveland Avenue and Metropolitan Parkway, the driver drove over a curb and through a parking lot, endangering pedestrians. After striking the curb, the right rear tire blew out, but the driver kept fleeing on 3 functioning wheels, nearly striking several vehicles.
Clear westbound Ferguson for Metro. Crossing Quaker.
2 flat tires, yeah.
Clear crossing Quaker Street on Metro for Ferguson going north there. Responsive, white male, low haircut, dark complected, white shirt. We're crossing over Avery Road. We're crossing over Avery Road.
Oh, get on the highway, bitch. I dare you. Oh, you done fucked up now.
We are turning right onto the connector.
Can't do it right now.
We're turning right onto the connector. Left lane, we're going 75, 85 north. Passing 166.
We're on 166.
On the connector north, 166. We're going about 80. Setting up for a bit, 42, good attempt. Failed. Setting up again, we'll cross under Pryor Road. He's going to try to pin him again. Clear northbound, approach your fire, and step for a second foot.
Get out.
56. Clear northbound, approach your fire, and step for a second foot.
Get out.
56, 56, 50.
At approximately 10:15 p.m. on October 16, 2021, police received reports of an illegal street racing gathering at 2022 Headland Drive in East Point, Georgia, where a police helicopter arrived ahead of ground units and observed a white and green Chevrolet Camaro performing repeated donuts in a parking lot, the engine roaring as the driver continued to show off, unaware that officers on the ground were already closing in and that the brief thrill of the moment was about to come at a cost.
Still don't have street overlay, so if you get into anything, I'm going to have y'all call it. I can still keep the camera on it, but I don't have street overlay.
Watch that parking lot. The drive right there. They're coming out right here, guys.
They're splitting. They're splitting. That gold one's still doing donuts, though.
Get your hands up!
Go around. I'm sorry, he's not looking.
Get on the ground. Get on your
North Camaro, come see him. I'm looking for the other
You ain't gonna
today.
apologize. You ain't gonna apologize.
At approximately 9:09 p.m. on May 15, 2022, Sergeant A. Gonzalez received intelligence about an organized stunt driving group engaging in illegal activity near North Avenue and Spring Street. While patrolling the area, Sergeant Gonzalez observed a silver Lexus IS 300 performing circular burnouts in the intersection. When he activated his emergency lights and siren to initiate a stop, the driver fled. At the same time, several bystanders ran toward the patrol car, attempting to block it and create an escape path for the Lexus.
Northbound, north side drive. Full making right, northbound, north side drive. Go ahead. Good. Driving out of it. I'm walking when you come up. Say it again, Atlanta. I've got the dog. Good. Driving out of it.
Despite their apparent driving skills, it was no match for Georgia State Patrol. All three occupants of the vehicle were taken into custody. The driver was identified as Yahir Alexander Vega, 21 years old. The two passengers were juveniles. Both passengers stated they were not involved in the stunt driving and said they repeatedly told Vega to stop and tried to prevent his actions, but he refused to comply. Around 10:05 a.m. on August 19, 2023, officers were searching for a suspect believed to be armed. Before long, they located him driving a pickup truck. At a nearby intersection, officers spotted the vehicle and conducted a stop. When they approached, the suspect became uncooperative, and officers immediately noticed a 3-year-old child inside the truck.
I'm going to be out. I believe it's going to be you. Already officer here. I believe it's going to be the subject.
10-4, the name matches what's posted on your file.
Just moments before the suspect sped off, an officer managed to pull the child safely from the passenger seat. Despite this, the suspect showed no concern for his own child and fled the scene. A pursuit was immediately initiated. The pursuit continued at speeds between 70 and 80 miles per hour. Moments later, Trooper Bates surged into the lead, positioning himself for a high-speed pit maneuver to bring the chase to an end.
Your area, we can try to get a chopper where we're going to see.
Executed a pit maneuver at roughly 80 miles per hour, sending the suspect's truck sliding into the ditch on the left as Bates's patrol vehicle dropped into the ditch. Moments later, the suspect emerged with a weapon and pointed it toward the troopers, forcing officers to open fire. The suspect was taken into custody and transported to the hospital with serious injuries, but he survived. At approximately 5:02 p.m. on March 5, 2024, the Little Rock Police Department contacted Arkansas State Police Troop, a dispatch, to request assistance in a pursuit involving a stolen white Nissan Altima. The chase was taking place in the area of Roosevelt Road and Springer Boulevard, heading southbound. Trooper Bird responded to the area of Interstate 440 eastbound at Springer Boulevard and joined the pursuit.
Back on 440 East. Get back on 440 East.
Okay.
46 Rock on Strawberry. TBI.
The vehicle re-entered Interstate 440 eastbound, where Trooper Bird took over as the lead unit in the pursuit. As he closed the distance, the driver attempted to avoid a TVI by braking and swerving left. Despite the evasive maneuver, Trooper Bird successfully executed the TVI, forcing the Nissan off the roadway to the right, where it came to a complete stop. The driver was taken into custody without further incident. Officers from the Little Rock Police Department assumed custody and charged the suspect with the following offenses: theft of property, $5,000 to $25,000. Felony fleeing in a vehicle with substantial danger of death. Open container of alcohol in a motor vehicle. Around 4:20 a.m. on March 1st, 2022, members of the Greene County Sheriff's Office Criminal Apprehension Unit received information that a wanted suspect had been spotted. As deputies searched the area, the suspect contacted his cousin for help, and the two left in a white pickup truck. Moments later, the suspect forced his cousin out of the vehicle, stole the truck, and fled. During the pursuit, he drove at speeds of 70 to 80 miles per hour in a 40-mile-per-hour zone, repeatedly creating dangerous situations.
We are still eastbound, Kearney, speeds 60, traffic moderate. They're still eastbound, Kearney. Kearney from where? Broadway, eastbound, speed 70. They're speed 70, eastbound, Kearney, Broadway. We are passing Grant, still eastbound. This information is individual statements of family are shooting out. We are eastbound Kearney and Campbell, speeds 70, moderate traffic. Another bin. 600. Can someone advise the unit speeds, charges, and the situation?
A few minutes later, as the suspect attempted to turn around, the vehicle nearly collided with a patrol car. Officers stopped short and did not block the suspect's vehicle, allowing him to continue fleeing, prolonging the pursuit and increasing the damage that followed. Captain Lynn then executed a more decisive pit maneuver, sending the suspect vehicle spinning clockwise. It struck another car and jumped the curb, but the suspect crashed through a fence and fled once again.
Whatever street is back on the east of here. They go through a fence. South on Concord High through an alley. They're southbound Concord High through an alley. North on Grand, yes, Grand and Dale. Grand Dale northbound. From Grand on Dale, he's spinning out. They're west on Grand Dale.
The pursuit ended when the suspect drove directly into a patrol vehicle and was quickly surrounded. He was pulled from the car and taken into custody without further incident. The suspect was identified as Johnny Joe Coffer, Jr. In November 2021, Coffer had been placed on home confinement with GPS monitoring while awaiting court on a prior theft case. Later that month, he removed the monitor and failed to appear in court. In this incident, Coffer was arrested and charged with resisting arrest by fleeing, possession of controlled substances, and tampering with an electronic monitoring device. He was released in July 2022 under 24/7 home confinement with GPS monitoring. In October 2023, he was rearrested for violating release conditions, and in February 2024, he entered a plea agreement and was sentenced as a prior and persistent offender, with all terms to be served concurrently. At about 4:30 p.m. on October 28, 2022, officers spotted a vehicle wanted in connection with an armed carjacking. The suspects had stolen screwdrivers and gloves from the Home Depot on Highway 124 before attempting to steal another vehicle. When police arrived, the suspects immediately fled, prompting a pursuit.
Move in! All right, they're getting out. They hit a vehicle in the lot. Boy William, fire 3257. I'm in pursuit. We're going past the front entrance of Home Depot here. One pedestrian, they're back in the store. They're now back northbound in the lot. Looking for the main entrance of the 124. They're going back south. Back south, they're gonna go out the wrong way on Capitol. Going through the grass to Capitol. I'm right on them. They're looking to go east, across all traffic. Stand by, they're going west. All right, they're westbound from 124 on Capitol, lane 2. Coming up some medium traffic, speeds about 45. Rear bumpers hanging off. Have someone go to Noodles and check on the vehicle they hit. There was a lady outside, she looked okay. She did not get hit. Still westbound from 128, speeds about 50.
I am number 2 behind 141.
All right, they're gonna make a U-turn potentially and go back east on Capitol. Back east on Capitol. Occupied by 5, I think looks like 2 females, 3 black males, hoods up. Right on them, lane 3, speeds 55. All right, they're northbound, southbound lanes, intentional here. Very slow, coming up to Congress. All right, we corrected ourselves. Still northbound from Congress. I'm right on them. Left side tires look down. Rear bumpers falling off. Black Hyundai Sonata, stolen vehicle. Attempted to steal another in our city. Northbound coming up to Hampton. A lot of smoke coming from the vehicle. Speeds about 80, light traffic.
Use caution, it was used in a carjacking in Brown Deer.
All right, we lost a tire here at Hampton. 45 miles an hour. All right, they just got pinned in by another truck. Bail, bail, bail.
The vehicle eventually lost an entire tire, producing heavy smoke. The chase ended when a truck boxed it in at an intersection. All 5 suspects bailed out and ran in different directions, prompting a foot chase. Officers quickly reported 3 suspects in custody, and the remaining 2 were later apprehended. All faced multiple serious charges. No injuries were reported in the incident.
All squads, be advised, Tulsa would be coming across regarding this chase on Top Road 7.
At approximately 12:45 a.m. on November 5, 2025, Trooper Hatcher was notified by Task Force Agent Dalton Wagoner that a dark-colored Toyota Tacoma was speeding and failing to maintain its lane on Dora Road. Van Buren police officers quickly located the truck as it traveled eastbound on Rena Road near Peave House, but the driver refused to stop and accelerated away. By 12:47 a.m., Trooper Hatcher joined the pursuit at the intersection of Highway 59 and Rena Road. The Tacoma continued southbound on Highway 59 toward Interstate 40, reaching speeds over 60 miles per hour as the chase intensified. Trooper Hatcher deployed a pit maneuver, successfully stopping the vehicle near Access Road. The driver, identified as Samson Espinoza, 39, was taken into custody without further incident. During the encounter, Trooper Hatcher detected a strong odor of intoxicants coming from Espinoza and noted that his eyes were bloodshot and watery. When asked to provide a preliminary breath sample, Espinoza refused and urinated on himself. He was transported to the Crawford County Detention Center, where he now faces multiple criminal charges. On December 15, 2025, at approximately 7:26 p.m., Officer Phelps was traveling westbound on Fort Street near Mayo Drive when he observed a black Nissan Altima heading east in the left lane at a speed noticeably higher than surrounding traffic. Radar confirmed the vehicle was traveling 58 miles per hour in a 45 mile per hour zone. Officer Phelps activated his emergency lights, turned around, and attempted a traffic stop. The Altima moved into the right lane and then turned south onto Lockett Lane. With Officer Phelps directly behind the vehicle and his siren activated, the driver accelerated and fled. Officer Phelps notified Troop H Communications that he was in pursuit.
We're at in Marling, just off the rock. Get out of the car! Get out of the fuck! Black Nissan Altima, Hispanic male. He hit my car. We're on coming up the Stroger Lane. I'm not. It's kind of a trailer park area. We're Lockett Lane. Streets are 46, we're in a residential neighborhood. Going back towards Rogers, toward Fort Smith. Speed 75. Traffic is live right now.
As the vehicle turned north onto Massard Road near Marks Lane, Officer Phelps executed a successful pit maneuver. The car spun and came to a stop facing south, but the driver accelerated again. During the attempt to flee, the front of the suspect vehicle struck the driver's door of Officer Phelps's patrol car, causing damage. The driver continued fleeing, driving even more recklessly.
We're on Mark. It is blacked out. Speed 45. Going west on Mark. South 80th, Mark, residential neighborhood. Speed's 25. Coming up to 45 now.
The driver later turned off his headlights while continuing to flee at high speed. The pursuit ended on South 81st Street when the vehicle entered a dead end near Adam Drive and stopped. Officer Phelps ordered the driver out, but he refused. Additional officers arrived and removed the driver through a window, taking him into custody. He was identified as Alexander Raya. Officers noted red, watery eyes, a strong odor of alcohol, and slurred speech. A search of the vehicle uncovered a black backpack containing a partially consumed bottle of Siete Leguas Blanco tequila. On February 7, 2022, at about 1:45 p.m., Trooper Whipple was patrolling southbound on Interstate 85 near Buford Drive when he spotted a dark-colored Chevrolet Malibu speeding. A laser reading confirmed the car was traveling 91 miles per hour in a 70-mile-per-hour zone. Trooper Whipple initiated a traffic stop, and the driver pulled onto the left shoulder. When he approached the vehicle, he observed a black female with dreadlocks behind the wheel. He asked her to step out and provide her name, date of birth, and license number. She identified herself as Coriana Lewis. Because of the cold weather and the fact that she was wearing shorts, Trooper Whipple allowed her to get back inside the vehicle while he continued the stop. Trooper Whipple entered the driver's information into the GCIC system, but the photo returned did not match the woman he had stopped. He informed her of the discrepancy and gave her an opportunity to correct it, but she insisted the information was accurate and claimed her license was at home. After additional checks, Trooper Whipple concluded she had provided false identification and requested a supervisor. When the supervisor arrived, Whipple explained the situation and showed the mismatched photo. Without warning, the driver hit the brake, then suddenly accelerated, fleeing the scene and triggering a pursuit. As the pursuit approached the intersection of Old Peachtree Road and Cross Point Road, the suspect entered a turn lane and began a wide, slow U-turn. Trooper Whipple seized the opportunity and executed a pit maneuver, forcing the vehicle up onto the curb and pinning it against a patrol car to prevent any further escape. Supporting officers arrived moments later and took the suspect into custody.
I don't care. Shut up. Don't talk. Just be quiet. Just be quiet. Stop talking.
Moments later, the vehicle began to emit heavy smoke. Officers attempted to put out the fire with extinguishers, but the effort was unsuccessful. Trooper Whipple advised Troop C Communications that the suspect was in custody and requested Gwinnett Fire to respond to the smoking vehicle. When additional units arrived, the driver's true identity was confirmed. She was evaluated by Gwinnett EMS and transported to Northside Gwinnett Hospital. After receiving medical clearance, she was taken to the Gwinnett County Jail and processed without incident. The black Chevrolet Malibu was impounded by Willard's Wrecker Service.
Stop the camera and start it, buddy.
Around 6:53 p.m. on July 29th, 2025, Trooper Logan observed a white SUV traveling southbound at a high rate of speed on U.S. Highway 19, just south of State Road 688 in Pinellas County, Florida. The vehicle was in the inside lane. The SUV suddenly slowed, cut across multiple lanes, and disrupted the safe flow of traffic before exiting US 19 onto eastbound Gateway Expressway. The driver continued operating recklessly, passing several vehicles on the shoulder with deliberate disregard for public safety. Trooper Logan immediately initiated a pursuit to stop the vehicle. After the first pit attempt failed, Trooper Logan executed a second maneuver, causing the SUV to spin counterclockwise and back into a utility pole. Despite the impact, the driver remained defiant, steering away from the crash and continuing to flee.
Right behind him on number 2. He's in the ditch.
When the suspect saw a marked Foley police unit, he abruptly turned right onto North 66th Street, then right again onto 35th Street. Driving too fast to maintain control, he left the roadway and crashed into a ditch near the intersection, heavily damaging the SUV. The driver, identified by a Florida ID as 36-year-old Marcus Real Hoptree, was the sole occupant and was taken into custody without incident. He claims someone else had been driving, though no one was ever seen leaving the vehicle during the pursuit. Trooper Logan noted a strong odor of alcohol on Hoptree's breath, which intensified as he spoke, along with bloodshot, watery, and unfocused eyes. At approximately 11:49 p.m. on April 11, 2025, Officer Lucas was traveling northbound on Riverdale Road, directly across from the Riverwalk Apartments at the intersection of Riverwalk Place and Riverdale Road, when he observed a white Nissan Altima heading southbound. The vehicle suddenly made a U-turn directly in front of him, roughly 30 feet from the median, forcing Officer Lucas to brake hard to avoid a collision. And when he attempted to conduct a traffic stop, the driver chose not to stop and instead fled the scene.
Cobra 2 radio, the vehicle appears to be taking off. It's a white Nissan. We're going 285 eastbound. He just blacked out. Yeah, I'll be in pursuit radio. It's occupied one time radio. Look like a black male with a hoodie on. .285 east, coming up to the 75 split. Traffic charges currently. Just got off at South Outer Loop Road. Cobra 2 radio, can you see if we got GSPs in the area? Cobra 2, he just made a right turn onto Lake Mirror Road. Speed's about 70. Still traveling eastbound on Lake Mirror Road. Just past the Aviation Parkway. Turning back out, leaving out the office by radio. He's turning around, he's leaving out of the office by radio. We're going westbound on Lake Mirror Road, radio. Best to try to get up on him now. When I get a chance, I'll get him off the road. Cobra 2, I'm clear. He's all over the roadway. Failed pit attempt. Pit.
Around 1:30 a.m. on February 26, 2022, a Montgomery police officer spotted a traffic violation near Rockville Pike and Nicholson Lane in Bethesda. When the officer attempted a stop, the driver immediately sped off, prompting a pursuit. At that moment, she likely didn't realize it would be the most tragic decision of her life.
Need you pull over right here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Honda Civic. We're on Park Lawn heading towards Randolph.
Copy, Park Lawn heading towards Randolph.
Yes. towards Beers Mill. Might run that tag.
Copy.
It's coming up to Beers Mill.
Copy, coming up to Beers.
Going to be crossing over Beers Mill, just ran the red light.
Crossing over Beers, headed, I'm sorry, just ran the red light.
Going to be coming up to Connecticut here shortly. All right, 9 Whiskey 12, they just wrecked on Connecticut Avenue.
The pursuit reached speeds exceeding 100 miles per hour. During the chase, the female driver lost control of the vehicle and crashed along Randolph Road in Wheaton. She was pronounced dead at the scene. A male passenger was transported to a local hospital with minor injuries. Had she simply pulled over, accepted a traffic citation, and gone home, the outcome might have been very different. On Saturday, May 18th, 2024, at 8:17 a.m., Trooper Pryor overheard radio traffic from the Ashley County Sheriff's Office reporting a fleeing vehicle headed north on US 165 toward the Arkansas-Louisiana state line. He notified Troop F dispatch and moved south to intercept. By 8:29 a.m., he spotted the suspect vehicle speeding through Wilmot. Trooper Pryor attempted to block its path, but the driver swerved around him and continued north at high speed.
Yeah, 31 going direct net.
Northbound on 165.
Van, Louisiana 257, George Robert Sam 257, George.
We're northbound, speed 105, that was pretty good.
There we go.
As the suspect vehicle continued northbound, it crossed into the oncoming lane, forcing several drivers off the roadway to avoid a head-on collision. Trooper Pryor made multiple attempts to conduct a pit maneuver, but each effort was unsuccessful. He continued providing real-time updates to Troop F dispatch while looking for a safe opportunity to attempt another pit.
Whatever you can, y'all see if y'all can get him stopped. Yeah, cool.
The pursuit continued for roughly 9.7 miles before Trooper Pryor finally reached a safe stretch of roadway with no oncoming traffic, giving him an opportunity to attempt another pit maneuver. This time, the pit was successful. The suspect vehicle spun off the roadway and rolled multiple times before coming to rest on the passenger side. Trooper Pryor and assisting units stopped at a safe distance and issued commands for the driver, later identified as Marquise Mason, to exit the vehicle. Mason complied and was taken into custody without further incident.
Stand by. I'll just give you a call. If you want the north end, I guess you gotta remember, there's still a lot of cars here in the middle, but they're all right now.
Hey, stay like this, I'm gonna turn around.
Yeah, pass it on the south side, north side was covered.
Just in case one of them goes.
On December 7, 2024, the Florida Highway Patrol, working with the Orange County Sheriff's Office and Orlando Police, responded to reports of a street takeover near Emerald Dunes Drive and Lee Vista Boulevard. Trooper Ruiz and several marked FHP units set up around the business complex to block exits and stop vehicles involved in the illegal gathering. All patrol cars had emergency lights on and were clearly marked with official agency logos.
Hey, FHP, we got other cars going off the other exit. Yeah, this whole place is on the string of retention bonds, so they are going to be stuck inside this industrial flare for the most part. We get very creative and roll and try to find some crazy way out.
Fuck, can I just pass the fucking exit? God damn it all.
43, from Delta 42. Myself, 43 and 44 will be 90 taxi area shortly. Where do you want to
coming?
Yeah, get ready.
Anything they're going to drive over the ocean, well, you guys can come in either way, whichever's easier from the north side or the south side. Everybody that'll start seeing that there where you guys can little bit of pushing go in and start dealing with the traffic issues. Okay, they're enforced there. Give me one or two more on that. Walking, I know, the walkway between the bar and just on the eastern side, here in Crazy.
I'm set up, if they did, I'm fucking going.
Looks like they got the long way to go. I said, look, that's priority. If we got one, if we want to send one police car over on the 2 east, that's fine, but I think we should probably deal with people on all the cars as priorities.
Okay, they're moving in and down there.
Yeah, I see.
Might be able to get a car on that, too, as well, from what I can see.
This guy's
At the scene, officers saw cars starting to do burnouts and sharp stunt-like turns as the crowd grew more chaotic. Police quickly moved in, aiming to catch the ringleaders and the most reckless drivers first.
From Lee Vista go right, he's going east and go south on Emerald Dunes. They said they need a unit on the Goose. What do you guys want to do? Yeah, McDonald's on our Goose. I should pretty much do east of the scene and we'll pull up and just real fast. You talking about what that little overage is?
Where are they?
7055,
Okay, that's what we're doing. Alright, and then the group is in the back. This is where Webster's at. Okay.
During the operation, Trooper Ruiz spotted a white Honda Accord with no headlights on, trying to evade police by driving on the sidewalk. The car headed north on Emerald Dunes Drive, then turned east onto Lee Vista Boulevard. When Trooper Ruiz tried to stop the vehicle with lights and sirens, the driver refused to pull over and took off recklessly. To stop the chase safely, Trooper Roos used a pit maneuver, causing the car to spin out, but the driver kept going east on Lee Vista Boulevard. Roos then got a clear look at the driver, described as a young black male. A second pit was successful, flipping the Honda and ending the pursuit. The driver, identified as Elias Yeris Burgos through his Florida license, was also the registered owner of the car. He was taken into custody without incident. Orange County Fire Rescue checked on both Burgos and his female passenger. Neither was seriously hurt. Elias was arrested for fleeing to elude and cited for his involvement in the street takeover. He was transported to the Orange County Jail without further incident. All events occurred within Orange County, Florida,